You've heard of Wasisname and the other fellow, right? Good bunch of fellows, I tell you. Anyways, I found that 454 used in his vet, and now, we all know she threw her piston out through the side when this nerdy fellow tried to steal a lawnmower from which the 454 was implanted. Long story short, I found it sitting in the scrapyard, grass growing all up around it, just outside of Springhill Junction there. Yes, I did, sir, I found it. I bought it, and I brought it out to me garage, where I replaced the side of the thing where she threw that piston out. But I also upgraded it, yes I did. I mean, like you would, right? Carbon fiber. Stronger than 15 rolls of duct tape. Now, you knows I knows nothing about engines, so I hired this local guy to come in and fix her up for me. Well, now's I got this 454 sitting dead center of me garage, and the wife is screaming at me, "Get that out of there! I can't park my car in there." Can't cross the wife, right? No, sir. So anyways, I had this thought, see? I hears about all these drones and moose hunting. I gets me this idea. Let's plant the 454 with the new carbon fiber pistons into one. Wouldn't a week later tell my wife was happy as I had made it. Yes, sir. Garage door was up, Ford Focus sitting shiny, and out on the lawn was me drone. 15 feet in circumference. She sat there. Wife opened up front door. "Get that off the lawn." I said, "Yup." Anyways, I looked down at my drone, and then I looked down at the controller I had rigged up. Marked in red marker, I had start. You knows what that does, right? By this time, I had several onlookers staring at me out on me lawn. I said, "Stand back." And then I reached down and pushed a button. It sprang to life. Blah! It was like the heavens opened up and God himself told me, "Good job." It wasn't quite off the ground yet, though. I never put an exhaust on her, as this would give her a few more extra horsepower. I looked around and no one was to be seen. They all fled in terror, leaving behind newspapers and dogs and cats and whatever they was walking. They was all gone. So now, I needed to take her on her first flight. I looked back down at my little controller, not much bigger than one of them boxes of chicken noodle soup you get at the grocery store with the pouches in it, and I stares at the stick labeled up. Now, she just don't go up. The moment you move that little stick just a millimeter, even less than a millimeter, bam, it vanishes. All that was left was a crater in my lawn that looked like one of them dear asteroids leaves behind when they hits. The trees in my yard and my neighbor's yard were all bent over like a bulldozer run them over. I had a fence. Nope. My neighbors have my fence now. It was sticking out like shrapnel all over one side of their house. Then it came to me. Where's me drone? I pulled that little stick back down, and there it was, about a kilometer up in the sky, purring like a newly born kitten. Still, I wasn't satisfied with the test, so I said to myself, let's see if she can find a moose. The other stick marked in green said forward. So, I pushed it forward. Roar! 2 tornadoes appeared behind her, and all the clouds vanished. And then she started to move. 6 or 7 bolts of lightning struck down from the static of her propellers on her. And not but a split second later, she was gone out of sight. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah. I bet you thinks I lost her, right? No, sir. See, I had one of them iPhones on it, duct taped to it. Me wife's. It was FaceTimed with my iPhone, which was taped on my remote control. She didn't know that. Don't tell her. I could see everything, but there was a bit of delay. Now, not because of how far away it was from me, but I think she folded space-time while she was accelerating. By this time, I could look to my left and I see a couple of the neighbors peeping out through the curtains. I looks over to me right, the same thing. All of them on the phone. Now, I'm not one for speculating, but I'm pretty sure after seeing fence posts and rocks flying through their walls, they was on the phone with the local police. But this didn't scare me, no sir. See, there's no rules in place for drones. I looked back down on the screen on my iPhone and saw the CN Tower pass by. It was then I knew I had to slow her down. So I moved a little stick that was no more bigger than my 5-year-old nephew's pinky finger back just a smidgen, as I didn't know the outcome of fully bringing it to a stop. I didn't want to form a black hole, right? There she was, now hovering over what looked to be Thunder Bay. Then I was like, okay, time to see if she can find a moose. I brought her down near a patch of trees, and there it was. Like a wart on Uncle Jack's hand. A flock of moose. Flock. I don't know if that's the right cinnamon there. Anyways, I wanted a closer look. Moving the controls in the appropriate directions, I was now near the flock. You should have seen the expression on their eyes, old man. 'Twas like they thought it was the end. They never even ran. No, sir. but then they did. Now, I'm not one on passing for a challenge, so I accidentally pushed the little stick a little further than I should have. Excitement, right? You wanted to see what clear cutting looked like. If you go just north of Thunder Bay, you'll see one finely cut path. Let me tell you, rocks, trees, dirt, grass, caterpillars, you name it, it was all just pebbles of dust along my newly cut path. I didn't see the moose though, but one can only imagine what happened to them. It was by this time I decided to bring her back home, with a grin of success all over my face, yes sir. When I brought her back up in the air, I could see 6 or 7 dots heading towards her. I then realized I may have triggered a NORAD response. You know what NORAD is, right? How about you? Good. Well, it wasn't long before them dots turned into F-18s flying by. I had triggered a diplomatic incident with the United States. They thought Canada were up to something and had to investigate. I didn't want to lose me drone, so I decided to get her back. Now, I had one thing just installed for this. Nitrous. Yes, sir. That nerdy dude offered me the premium package when I got the engine rebuilt, and I opted for it. What's $500 in a box of Vienna sausages, right? Got a discount using the sausages. Looking down at the controller, I had her pointed in the right direction, because she was back idling past CN Tower again on her way back. It was about this time I knew they was going to shoot her down. I couldn't have that. All of a sudden, missiles come right at me. Now, you gotta understand, now it's like playing a video game, but they didn't have a chance. They had no idea the power that was at me fingertips. It was like having one of them dear game genies attached to your console back in the 80s. You know what I'm talking about, right? Right? No? Well, no hope for you, buddy. So, I opened her up. She went around to her 4 times before I slapped that stick back in stop mode. At the right time, of course. BAM! There she was, idling right above me. Not 4 or 5 minutes later, I saw what looked to be 6 or 7 planes all flying drunk like whizzing by. Some backwards, others sideways. I then realized the F-18s must have got caught in the sucking vortex behind me drone when I accelerated. I got scared at this point, because this time I could hear sirens off in the distance, and them F-18s were just about regaining control. Well, all but one. I saw a parachute off in the distance. He didn't make it. So now I had to hide her. Got me to thinking. Where could I hide a 15-foot drone with a 454 strapped to her? Me sister's place! So fast as I could get my fingers on the controls, I ran inside the house and parked it 20 feet under her garage. See, ground was like air to it. It didn't exist. I mean, you remember what happened to the forest near Thunder Bay, right? Not 2 minutes later, there was a knock on my door. You know anything about a drone flying around? No, sir. But I saw some fighter jets fly over just now. Must have been training exercises. I knew he didn't quite believe me. But he didn't have me drone. After a firm staring contest, he left me be. Then the phone rings, and as my sister sang, me sheet was hit by what looked to be like an eruption of some kind. Her camera was cut in half. I chuckled a little bit, eh? We don't get along. And I said to her, you got insurance? Then as she was about to hang up on me, the wife comes over. You see me iPhone? Kicking the controller very inconspicuously under the couch and hanging up the phone, I said, nope. Can you grab me some of them dear mustard pickles in the fridge? 'Twas the last bottle. And that's it. That's where she is. She's sitting out in under me sister's garage, eh? So, when it calms down a little bit, I might do something else with her. And that's all. Remember to like, subscribe, and all that bullshit. This is DTR.